Hi digital makers, and welcome to another week of digital making at home from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. My name is Mark and I'm really happy that you're joining me from all over the world and coming to code with me in my own home in England. The theme for this week is going to be make some music, and I'm going to be showing you how to use a program called Sonic Pi to write code to make tunes. It's going to be a sort of intermediate project, so it'll be perfect if you've coded with Sonic Pi before. But if you haven't, please check out my buddy Christina's video because she's going to be taking you through the very basics of using Sonic Pi for the first time. And if you're a big fan of Scratch, you can join my mate Mark, who's going to be showing you how to make your own virtual rock bands using Scratch. We're going to get started with our Sonic Pi composition. So the first thing you're going to need to do is have Sonic Pi installed on your computers if you haven't got it already installed. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to open up a web browser, and then you can go to this web address. It's sonic-pi.net. This will take you to the home page of Sonic Pi, and here you've got options to install it for Windows or for Mac OS. So download the installer, run it on your computer, allow all the permissions and everything, and then once that's done, you should have Sonic Pi able to open up from your menu, and when it opens up, it will look something like this. So I've got down at the bottom here lots of different buffers, okay? And these buffers allow me to write different files in different places. I'm going to be in buffer 9 today because I've filled up buffers 1 through to about 6 trying to practice this song. All right, we've got various preferences over here, like changing the volume and stuff like that. And up here, I can change the size of the text. So I'm going to make my text nice and big so that you can all see that. This first line here is just a comment. It's got that hash symbol in front of it. Okay, so that's just a comment and it won't do anything. So I'm just going to delete that. Right, let's make our first sounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Sonic Pi to play a note. It uses the programming language called Ruby, so that's the language we're going to be writing in today. Let's go with the simplest note we can do, play 60. Okay, so I've played 60 and I'm going to hit run. And hopefully you can hear that. It's a little bit quiet, but I want to keep the volume down a little bit because we're going to get a lot louder later on. You'll notice over in the right hand side here, you've got this scope, okay? And that scope will show that your note's being played. So if you don't hear anything, please check out your headphones and your audio settings and make sure that you can hear that first note. Okay, let's start off with a tune. So I'm going to put in a different MIDI value now. So I'm going to say play 50, then I'm going to say play 53, and then I'm going to say play 55. All right, then let's see what that does. Ready? I'm going to hit run. Not quite what I wanted. So it's played all 3 notes at the same time. It's basically played a chord. You can also play them one at a time. I need to put a little pause in between each of my plays. There we go. Let's listen to that. Just turn my volume up a little bit, see whether that's a little bit better for you. Okay, so we've now got our 3 notes being played separately and we're starting to make a tune. But remember, when I had the 3 notes without sleeps in between them, they played simultaneously. So I'm actually going to use that to my advantage now, because when that note 50 plays, when that MIDI note 50 plays, I'm going to also play the MIDI note 55. Okay, that's good. That's more like what I'm after. So let's go for play 58 there. We'll do a play 60 here. And let's run. Okay, I'm starting to recognise the song now. I wonder whether you guys at home can. All right then. Each note I play can have some properties, so I can make the notes last a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do in these last 2 notes is I'm going to add in a release property here. So release and 1.5, and here release 1.5. There we go. Let's just listen to that and see how that changes it. You notice how that lasted a little bit longer? Maybe if I make that much more obvious. So if I make it a 6, for instance. 6. And then see. There we go. That note's lasted much longer before it starts to fade out. There we go. Let's go back to 1.5. I'm happy with that. Okay, what do I want to do now? Well, it's a little bit slow for my liking at the moment, so I'm going to change how fast it is. I could do that by changing my sleeps. All right. So at the moment they're sleeping for 1 second. All right, or 1 beat, because it's playing at 60 beats a minute. I'm just going to double that speed, and the way I can do that is by setting the beats per minute. So I can say with underscore beats per minute 120 do, okay, and you'll notice that do goes orange. So what I'm saying is use beats of 120 beats a minute and then do everything underneath this until I get to an end. And you see that end goes orange as well. You'll also notice that Sonic Pi very helpfully sorted out all my indentation for me. It's not essential in Ruby, but it just looks nicer if we've got decent indentation in there. It makes it clearer for programmers to see what they're doing. So let's see what that does with that 120 beats per minute now. So it should have sped it up. Much better, much better. Okay then, so I've got my first riff. Okay, that's my first riff that I'm going to play. Now I'm going to add in a second one. I'm going to do this one slightly differently though. So I'm still going to do it at a BPM of 120, because we know that's what we want now. Okay, and now I'm going to tell it to play some notes. Now I could put in MIDI values again, but what I thought I'd show you, for those of you that know about music, maybe you play a musical instrument or you can read music, there's a way to actually put in the normal sort of octaves of the notes. So what I can do is I can say play, and then I'll put a colon, and I'm going to say D3. And I think, I'm not the greatest musician in the world, but I think that means play the note D in octave 3. Okay? Let's just put our end in and make sure that that is going to work, that we are actually going to hear a note. So we'll still, I'll just comment all, no, I'll leave that in for now. Let's just run this. Let's just run it. Oh, I didn't hear my note there. I know why. It's because it's playing that note at the same time it's playing those two notes. So what's happened is it's come down, it's played 55 with a release of 1.5 and played 60 with a release of 1.5, and instantly at the same time it's playing my D3 note. Let's just put sleep in here, just a little one. We'll just do a sleep of 1.5 for now, and then hopefully we'll be able to hear that last note being played. No, I've got some sort of error. What have I done wrong? Here's beats per minute, 120, sleep 1.5. What's it telling me I've got wrong? Thread depth. Undefined method with BMP. BPM. That's what I did wrong. Okay, let's try that again. The problem was still the sleep as well, but also my very bad syntax. Here we go. There you go. It was played just there, right at the end. Right, let's carry on. So I'm going to do a play. I'll put in a few more notes now. I'll play a G3. I'll do a little sleep. I'm now going to play another 2 notes simultaneously. So I'm going to play F in octave 3. And then I believe this means B flat in octave 3. Sleep 1. Let's play a, we'll go for AB3. So that's A flat. Play, and then we'll go C sharp, and then we'll go a little sleep, and then we'll have a G3, and lastly we'll do a C4 again. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. So I put my notes in. Here we go. One more time. Excellent. Right, let's see what we can do with this now. So what I'm going to do is I want those all to repeat. I want this block here to repeat, and I want this block here to repeat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up to the top here, and I'm going to do a thing called creating a function. So I'm going to write define. I now need to give my function a name. So it has to have a name. So I'm going to put a colon and call it riff1. And then I need that do keyword in there again. And because I've put in another do in there, because I've got that other do in, I'm going to need a second end now. So for every do you've got for a block of code, you also need to have an end there. So end. All right, so that's riff1. Let me just take out that sleep. Okay, and then I'm going to define this as being riff2. So define 9 caps, define, and then riff2 do, and then I need my other end again. Now then, what does that do? Well, if I hit run now, it doesn't do anything. And the reason it doesn't do anything is because I haven't called the function yet. So I need to call this function. All right, so let's do that. So I'm just going to come down under here, and then I'm going to put in some function calls. So let's just do a really simple one to start off. Let's do it simply to start off with. So I can just go riff1, and then I'll do a sleep, and I'll put that sleep of 1.5 back in, and then I want riff2. Okay, so there I'm calling my function. So let's have a listen to this. Perfect. Right, let's play riff1 again. So now I've made that really easy for me to just keep repeating those riffs, keep playing them over and over again. So I'm going to play riff1 again. And we'll do another, so riff1, sleep, we'll do riff2, we'll sleep for 2 this time. That's it. Okay, let's just listen to that. Okay, I'm getting there. I need my 2 extra notes there. If you haven't recognised this yet, it's smoke on the water. So if you want to see what it really sounds like, you might like to look it up on YouTube really quickly. Let's put that in there. We'll do a sleep for another 1. And then we're going to go play 50 and then play 55. Okay, right, let's play that. Right, I want that last note to last a little bit longer, so let's do that release in there again and make that a release 3. And I have to do it on the one that it's paired with, so there's another release 3. And then I'm going to do the same up for these notes here. They didn't sound like they lasted long enough. So let's get another release, well, 1.5 for that one, and another release 1.5. Down here, I'm going to put in a release 2. Release 2, and then another one here. Okay, let's run that. Oh, I've got a syntax error. Where is that? On line, workspace 9, line 21. Release. It's not liking my releases because I haven't put colons after the release. There we go. That's better. Okay, let's run that. Okay, we're getting there. I want that to just like keep playing over and over and over and over again. All right. So the way I can do that in Sonic Pi is I can use something called a live loop. And what a live loop will do, it'll keep playing everything that's inside it constantly over and over again. Okay. But as I edit my live loop, each time it comes round to replay it, I just have to hit the run button again. I don't have to keep hitting stop and run and stop and run. I can just hit the run button and it'll keep updating my live loop. Just like with a function, a live loop needs a name. So I'm going to go live loop, and let's get back to lowercase, live loop, and I'm going to call it smoke. Okay, and then we need that do keyword. I'm sure you can guess what's going to come next because we put that do in. I want to have an end in there. Okay, let's have a go at that. Let's see what that sounds like. I've got a problem. There's too much of a pause. Can you see it's playing over and over again? What I'm going to do is here, I'm just going to change the beats per minute as well. Beats per minute 120 do, and then another end in there. I can just hit run and it should update that. Getting there. That's getting close. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we're definitely getting there. Let's see, what else should we do here? So I don't like the note that's being played. It's not the actual sort of the MIDI value or the note. I don't like if you like the instrument that it's being played with. So I'm going to change what synth I use. Let's just stop that a second. So with my beats per minute of 120, I'm going to ask it to use a synth. Okay, so I'm going to go type use underscore synth, and then I can put a colon, and it'll start giving me choices of synth that I can pick out and use. And then all those bits are going to be played using that synth. Okay, so they'll all be played using that same synth there. Okay then, let's pick one. So I could do a piano, for instance, and then run it. I think that's a little bit off. Let's change those sleeps around. And then let's add a sleep at the end as well, because it's starting so quick. Just update that. That's better. Let's just make that a little bit longer though, that sleep, just a little bit longer. And I'm not happy with that synth, so let's choose a different one. Let's go for use synth. I always like D-saw. Run it. Yay, that sounds pretty good. Okay, we're getting there. I'm just going to stop this in case you're having trouble hearing me. All right, so we've got our, I quite like that. I'm going to stick with the D-saw, but what I'd like you to do now is, if you're coding along and you're making Smoke on the Water like I am, that's absolutely fine. All right, if you're making just your own thing, that's also great. Have a play around with some different synths. So as I said, once you type the word synth, you just put a colon, and then it'll give you all the choices of different synth you could have a play with, and see whether you can find one that you like maybe more than the D-saw one that I'm using. That's not bad. I'm going to stick with D-saw though. Definitely better. Definitely better. Okay. Right, what should we do now? Well, we can add in some special effects into our music, some effects. Okay, so let's do a little bit of that. So I can say with FX, so everything that's underneath this, okay, and everything that's within the do and the end keywords is going to be played with this effect. And I can add some distortion. And again, putting that colon, there's lots of different things I can do here. So you might want to have a play around with different effects that you can add onto it. So I have honestly no idea what any of these do. Let's do that one. Do, and then I'm going to come right down to my sleep here, and then I'm just going to put in my end there. Okay. Good. So let's see what that effect does. Can't really tell. So that's some distortion. I think there's a little change there. I can also change the amount I distort. Run that. There we go. So you can play around with the amount of distortion you need as well. All right. And again, have a play with some of the other effects and how much they're going to change your tune. Now you can hear me over this, so I'm just going to stop there so you can hear me properly. Okay, so we have got our main tune, and I think that sounds pretty good, but I'm going to add in some extra stuff that you can do in Sonic Pi that's really cool. So a live loop is great because it will play, okay, simultaneously with other live loops. And that's a really powerful feature of this program, right? So I can play 2 or 3 or 4 live loops all at the same time, and then I can like change them and play around with them and mess about with them and see what their effects they have. So what I'm going to do is, because you'll want to do this, you might want to have your main tune playing, and then you want to add in some drums or some bass or something like that that's going to play at the same time. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to go another live loop. I've got to give this one a name as well. So I'm going to call it bass. Okay. And then I'm guessing you know what's coming next. Do. And then an end. Need those in. All right. So what should we play in here? All right. So just like we did with all our others, we're still going to want those beats per minute to be the same. So beats per minute. But you might want to change the beats per minute for all your live loops. Okay. And then I'm going to say, let's play 43. Sorry, 32 times 2. So that's a loop that's going to happen 32 times. It's going to count 32 notes played. So it's going to play that 32 times, and then we're going to, if I don't put in a sleep in there, then the notes are all going to play simultaneously or exceptionally quick. So let's just place a little sleep in there, and I've got 3 do's, so I definitely should have 3 ends. Let's just listen to that and see what that does. So I'm playing this. Play 43. Let's just listen to what 43 sounds like. So you know, play 43. Can it run? That's quite a low note, just quite bassy. All right, so let's go to 9. So I'm going to play that 32 times and sleep for a second in each one. It's very faint in the background. So what I can do to increase the volume of a note over and above all the other notes is after I put the play 43, I can amp the note. Okay, so I can increase the volume of the note. So let's go for an amp. Let's really whack that up. Let's just hear what that sounds like. Just drop it a bit. Okay, brilliant. Now at the moment, what's happening is that's just playing continuously, non-stop. And what I'd like it to do is I'd like it to sync up with my other loop, okay? Because these loops are going to play for different amounts of time, yeah? So this one's going to play 43 with a sleep of 1. Actually, let's decrease that sleep. I'll make it a little bit more obvious what's going to happen next. So now we've got this bass going in the background. It sounds like this. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to sync that up with this loop because they play at different times, all right? Basically, when this one starts, it restarts, I'd like this one to restart as well. So in order to do that, I can just tell it, my live loop, to sync, with smoke, because that's the name of that live loop, yes? Smoke, okay? So I've got this live loop now is syncing up with this one. And let's just hear what that sounds like. Ready? Can you hear it there? Let's get some drums in here. So I'm going to do this quite quickly. Follow along with me if you can. Let's go live, loop, drums, do. And then obviously with BPM, beats per minute, 120, do. Sync with smoke again. So sync, smoke. And then I'm going to have quite a rapid loop running here. So I'm going to go 8 times do, and then I'm going to play what's called a sample. Let me just describe to you what a sample does really quickly. So if I say, there's some like pre-recorded sounds that exist within Sonic Pi, and they're called samples, and I can say sample, and then go, and then there's, again, just like there was with the effects and things like that, there's lots of different samples here that you can choose. So I'm going to choose the cymbal closed, yeah, drum cymbal closed, okay, and then you can play that and listen to that, and we've got that cymbal. It was quite faint there. Let me just amp it. So you can amp samples as well as you can amp normal notes. Can you hear that? So we're going to use that sample, okay, and we're going to put that into our loop here. So I'm going to go play it and then sleep for half a second, play it again, sleep for 0.25 seconds, let's play it again, and sleep for another 0.25, play it again, sleep for 0.5, play it again, sleep 0.25, and one more, sleep 0.25. Let's see, is that going to work well? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So I need to pick my ends now. So end, and my last end. Let's just see what that sounds like. Cymbals in there now. Another one here. Let's go. A sample. Drum snare. Hard. And that way too as well. And again. So that's it. It's a bit of an introduction to some of the more advanced features in Sonic Pi, like making functions, making live loops, and adding these properties like releases and distortions, and using various synths. And then finally, I've shown you how to use samples. So what do I want you to do now? Well, you can carry on working on this tune if you want, or you could create something of your own. So you can create your own song, okay, your own tune, have a play around with all the different settings. And down here at the bottom, there's an excellent tutorial set down here where you can look up all the different properties that all the different notes and things like that can have. Brilliant. What I would like you to do is, if possible, I would like you to either record your song, okay, or just save the file, and then I would like to hear it myself. So I would love it if you could share your music with us by going to rpf.io/home and either uploading your file, your text file, or uploading your music so that we can all have a listen to it at the Raspberry Pi Foundation. One more thing I've got to confess before I go is that I am not very musically talented. So I've got to have a big shout out to my mate Dan at the Raspberry Pi Foundation. And Dan was the one that actually put all this music together for me, because he's a proper talented musician and everything. And then I just turned it into a little bit of extra codes to try and show you some of the things. But all credit goes to Dan for putting this together for me. So everyone say thank you, Dan. And I'm going to leave you now, guys, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.